If something is free, then you're the product. We are all just beholden to the machine that is Google. This video feels like a shot in the foot. Hello and welcome to Spinsa's Library. I'm Claudia and today I'm going to tell you what YouTube tells me about you. So you're on YouTube obviously watching this video thinking maybe I'm going to tell you something about myself. You think you are watching me lay bare my own life, but actually YouTube is spying on you this entire time. Not to be too dramatic about this, I thought today I'd do a little video showing you what information YouTube behind the scenes gives me about you. About my viewers, about people who watch my videos. Occasionally I like to do these stats type videos, giving you a look behind the scenes, mostly because I find that kind of stuff interesting. I realize it's a bit niche, but on the other hand, I also think it's kind of important to know what information and what data is collected about you when you watch YouTube videos. Not to put you off, well, because I want you to continue watching my videos, obviously. I will link a playlist of my behind the scenes type videos in the description box. But now have a little think. What kind of information do you think YouTube tells me about you? I'm going to go through some screenshots from my analytics page, and all of these, except when stated differently, apply to my audience over the last 28 days. The first screenshot I want to share with you is the age and gender screen. In the last 28 days, the majority of you were women. And in fact, if you look at both age and gender, you can see that the majority of my audience is the same demographic as myself, which is female and aged 25 to 34. Hello, lady millennials. Glad you're watching this. The percentage of male viewers has, I believe, gone up in the last few years. I think at the beginning of my YouTube channel, my audience was overwhelmingly female. We're talking something like 90%. But now 28% of my audience are men. And if you look at the age groups, I really do not appeal to teenagers, which is fine. And my majority is really between the ages of 18 to 44, and then it flattens out a little bit as we get older. This screen I find quite interesting. This one is relatively recent that YouTube introduced that, and that shows me when my viewers are on YouTube. So as you can see, we've got a breakdown of the days of the week and then a sort of purple shading that shows me what time of day in UK time my viewers are most online. It varies very little from day to day, but every day you people seem to tune into YouTube at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon until about 9 o'clock in the evening. It's really obvious why YouTube tells me this, because that's when they want me to upload videos so that I can get lots of people to watch my videos, so they can put lots of ads on it, so they can make lots of money. We'll get to that later. Let's move on to the subscription status screen, and that shows me that most of you are not subscribed to this channel. In fact, only 12.5% of people watching this video right now are subscribed to my channel, which makes me rethink my whole stand about not asking you to subscribe, because one thing I find mildly irritating when I watch YouTube videos, it's not a big deal. If you're a YouTuber who does this, don't worry. But I find it mildly irritating when people say, make sure to subscribe and click the bell notification so you don't miss a video. Because I think, surely people know how YouTube works, right? Surely people know that if you click the subscribe button, you're likely to see my videos when they come out. So you don't find these pleas or commands or asking you to subscribe in my videos. But maybe I need to introduce that, because a whole lot of you aren't subscribed. Although, this is something I want to point out on this screen as well. If you look at the right column, you can see the average view duration. And the average view duration overall of my videos is 5 minutes and 20 seconds. That means that on average, you watch my videos for 5 minutes and 20 seconds. Thank you for that. However, my subscribers, the 12.5% of people that watch my videos and are subscribed, have a much longer attention span. They watch my videos on average for 7.5 minutes, whereas the people who watch the videos that are not subscribed, the majority of you, only watch my videos for about 5 minutes. I guess that makes sense. There will be people who click on my video because they see it recommended somewhere, they watch maybe 10 seconds of it, realize it's not for them, and click away and don't subscribe. So it makes sense that the subscribers, the people who have made an active choice to watch my videos, will have more patience with my videos. Yes, YouTube tells me how many of my subscribers have currently got the bell notifications on, and that is 12.5%. 12.5% of the people who have subscribed to my channel also have clicked the bell notification button, and people who have clicked the button and turned on their YouTube notifications, presumably on their phones, make up 7.8% or 660 people. Why YouTube wants to tell me this is, of course, so I can encourage you with every video to click the little bell so you don't miss an upload, because that way YouTube gets the permission to push my videos onto your phones and remind you, watch this video, watch the latest Spinsters Library, make sure you don't miss this. And if that's what you want, then go ahead. I'm sure you know by now where to find the bell icon, but be aware that that's why this is done. Of course, it helps me out because the more people click on my videos initially when they are uploaded, when the bell notification goes out, the more YouTube thinks this is a desirable video to share around to other people. But to be completely honest, I have not got the bell notification on for any YouTuber. I hate getting notifications on my phone. My phone is always on silent, and I've turned off notifications for messenger apps, and I like having the freedom to choose when I consume content. YouTube doesn't want you to have that freedom. YouTube wants the little rat brain in you to go, ooh, new Spinsters Library video, click. Sorry, that sounded very insulting to people who've got the bell notification on. I don't mean it like that. If that's how you like to consume your media, then that's fine, and I encourage you to click the bell so that YouTube thinks my videos are worth watching. This video has a very confused message, doesn't it? Let's move on to the next stat. This is a fun one, device type. I personally usually watch YouTube videos on my laptop, and sometimes I use a Chromecast to cast videos onto the television. I mostly do that when I watch videos with my husband, because then we can sit on the sofa together and enjoy a good YouTube video. But when I'm on my own, I usually just put them on my laptop. And my phone screen is kind of small and terrible, so I very, very rarely use that to watch YouTube videos. However, most of you watch videos on your mobile phone. So either you have better eyes than me or you have bigger phones. That's about half of my viewers watch my videos on their mobile phones. Another third watch them on a computer, and then behind that trail, tablet, TV, and shout out to the 0.5% of you who watch my videos on a games console. If you look at the furthest right column of this graph though, you get the average view duration on those devices. And I found that one quite interesting, because if you look at the TV row, you can see that people who watch my videos on the television have a longer attention span. They watch my videos for longer. And I can sort of see why. Because if you watch something on a phone or on a tablet or on a computer, it's so easy to just click away, swipe away, click on a different video. If you put a video on your television, then it's kind of there and you kind of want to watch it to the end, even if it's not very good or not very engaging. So longest view duration comes from people watching this on TV. Shortest view duration comes from people watching this on the mobile phone. And I think that says a lot about our psychology and our viewing behavior on different devices. Another very basic statistic that YouTube collects about you, and this is something that you presumably expected me to know about you, is the location. from where you're watching. So these are the top 5 geographies that you are watching from. A third of my viewers are in the United States, and then follow the United Kingdom, Germany, Canada, and India. And these are the top 5 countries that you're watching from. But YouTube actually gives me a more detailed list. This is not the entire list, by the way. This is just what I could squeeze into a single screenshot, where you can see places 6 onwards. So I have viewers all over the world, from Australia to Pakistan to Indonesia, Spain and Sweden. The idea that some of you are sitting in Ireland right now, and then some of you are sitting in Italy, and then some of you are sitting in Indonesia, kind of makes me happy. Hello. Okay, for a little more of a nerdy statistic, let's look at the operating system. Most of you are watching this from an Android or iOS device, and that shouldn't surprise me because, as we saw earlier, on the device list, most of you are watching this from a mobile device, and then follows Windows, Mac, etc. Let's look at some of the more noteworthy operating systems that you're watching from. So 0.4% of my views come from Linux, respect to you. 0.2% come from Xbox, and a whole 2 views in the last 28 days were from Windows Mobile. I can only imagine that you are a time traveler. Now, this is a statistic that YouTube introduced relatively recently to show me what other YouTube channels my audience also watches. And I have to say, you have very good taste. As you can see here, there's some booktube channels. There is some sort of more general channels. If I remember correctly, Ruby Granger is a sort of productivity study YouTuber. There are some here that I don't know, unfortunately, but I might check them out, because if you like my videos and you like their videos, then maybe I like their videos as well. For a brief moment, I thought Jack Edwards was a guy I went to university with, but he's not. So, all good there. Yeah, other than that, there's some really wonderful channels in this list. Drinking by My Shelf, Savage Reads, Jean Bookish Thoughts, Jen Campbell. Jean and Jen were actually the 2 first booktubers that I subscribed to. So I'm very happy to be in their company on this list. And Books and Things, obviously one of my favorites. Dr. Octavia Cox, someone I recently discovered some amazing deep dives into Jane Austen and related classic literature, so definitely check her out. If I was going to say, if you're not subscribed to her, but she's number 1 on my list, so the likelihood is if you're watching this, you're at least aware of her channel as well. Then we get into the list of other videos that your audience watched, and take note, this is specifically over the last 7 days. So these are recent videos that you watched as well as my videos, I guess. And again, good to see some favorites there. There's Jen Campbell, Karolina Zabrowska, one of the most hilarious and informative YouTubers of all time. I love her channel, been subscribed to her for years, very, very happy to see her on this list. Finally, let's get back to my channel. We've talked about other people enough now. These are the top playlists that you have clicked on in the last month. And right at the top, there are the Jane Austen July from last year and from the year before. Is it time for Jane Austen July again? I've been getting so many video ideas, by the way, for Jane Austen July, and I can't wait to film them and to read more Jane Austen this year. But anyway, so those 2 have been popular. And I just want to point you towards the playlist on my channel page, because I love playlists. When I discover a new YouTuber, when I go on someone's channel, one of the first things I click on is playlists, and I see how well kept and how well stocked their playlists are, because I like having thematic videos together. So if you haven't checked out the playlist page on my channel page, I recommend you do so. For example, there is a whole playlist just for the classics video. There is 2 whole playlists about Jane Austen videos. There's another playlist of book reviews, and there's another playlist of behind the scene videos, etc. So go check that out. I enjoy sorting, I enjoy organizing my videos into playlists. There are some other statistics that YouTube tells me about specific videos, and I've just picked my most recent video, which is about my bookish regrets. So I've just taken that as an example to show you what YouTube tells me about specific videos. The first thing it tells me is the audience retention, and that means how long people watched that specific video. So that specific video about bookish regrets was watched for an average of 7 minutes and 30 seconds, which makes up about half of the video. This is something that new people who make YouTube channels might be a little bit surprised by, but people don't watch your videos all the way through. Usually by the half-point mark, not many people are watching. So congratulations if you've made it to this point in this video. Pat yourself on the back. YouTube goes into a little bit more detail than that about the audience retention. So here is the video, and you can see the kind of timeline at the bottom, and you can see exactly where people dropped off and where people rewound to watch a bit again. So the spikes are where people watched a bit twice. The drops are where people clicked off. So you can see right at the end, which is presumably when I said thank you for watching, bye, people just clicked away. And you can see that after just a few seconds, a large amount of people who click on a video have already clicked off from it. This is still a statistic about that one video, the Bookish Regrets video, and that tells me that 3/4 of you watched that video without subtitles and 1/4 of you watched it with subtitles. So for a few months now, I have been putting closed captions on all of my videos, meaning that if you look at the bottom right of this video or any other video of mine that was recorded post August or something of last year, all of them have got subtitles and you can watch my videos with subtitles. And I'm really glad to see that such a large amount of people make use of that. YouTube also shows me a nice little funnel for each individual video. This one again is about the Bookish Regrets, and this one is specifically about the last 7 days. So you can see the number of impressions for that video, almost 13,000 impressions. What does that mean? That 13,000 times someone saw my video thumbnail and title either on the YouTube page or in the recommended bits in the sidebar, on my channel page, in their subscription box, any of the number of ways where you can find a YouTube video on the YouTube website. 44% of those impressions came from YouTube recommending my comment. So that is maybe on the homepage or maybe in the recommended bar at the side of videos. That video has a click-through rate of 4.9%. That means roughly 1 in 20 people who saw that thumbnail and title thought, oh, Bookish Regrets. That sounds like a fun ride. And then clicked on that video and watched it. I think I've shown you enough graphs and tables for a lifetime. There are many more things that YouTube tells me about you. These were just some of the information. It's all geared towards the push to make more viewers and to have them stick around for longer. Because that's how YouTube makes money. Which isn't to discourage you, of course, because when YouTube makes money, I make money as well. I've been quite open about that. That's what the ads are for. If you want more information on that, check out the videos that I've linked in the description box. But I think it's important for everyone to be aware that the internet isn't free. If something is free, then you're the product. I'm sure you've heard that before. And in the case of YouTube, your behavior on the website is watched very carefully. Not by human eyes necessarily, but by the computer, by the algorithm. And then it spits out this information to creators like myself so that we can make use of it and so we can try and keep you here for longer. Because in the end, we are all just beholden to the machine that is Google. That was a cheery thought. You know what? This video feels like a shot in the foot because I've just told you all of the ways in which YouTube is manipulating me, and I wouldn't blame you one bit if after this video you unsubscribe from every channel you're subscribed to and delete the app from your phone. But I hope you don't, because in the end it is still free entertainment, isn't it? Let me know your thoughts down below, and as always with these behind the scenes videos, I'm open to answer any questions you might have. pop them in the comments. I'm most active in the comments in the day or two after the video releases, so try and get in there early, and I'll do my best to answer any questions. Thank you for watching. Bye.